Hello everyone, welcome to Homeschool Autism Life. My name is Jamie and today's video is the last of my book hauls. I've been kind of spreading them out. I did get them all in January and I just wanted to share what the last one that I got, because it kind of, with Amazon, this is my Amazon one, which you got from the title. My Amazon book haul is the things that I couldn't get that I specifically needed or wanted to get in my book hauls. And then it also fills in some of the things that I need, that I've discovered that I needed over the course of the school year. So the first thing that I needed was some pencils. I got some I always say this wrong, Ticonderoga. I always say it wrong. I got some of these pencils because I know they're the best ones. I did get a huge box from Amazon Basics that worked really, really well, but they went out of, like, they're not producing them anymore, or I kept looking and they never had them in stock. So I bit the bullet and got the more expensive pack. We have a bunch of the ones still, but this is kind of to replace the ones that were getting a little short. We have one of those little spin things from Michael's that have like your scissors and your pencils and your scissors and all, I said that already, your pens and everything. We have one of those little turn spinny things with drawers for like glue sticks and erasers and stuff, but I was like, I just need a top up of the pencils. We tried, I usually buy from Costco the calendar that has the little pictures and there's like good big blocks and you're able to put them up on the fridge. Unfortunately, we couldn't find it this season, and so I went and got myself from Amazon for Christmas one that I can just fill in myself. It's a white dry erase one, and it came with markers, but every time you went to write on something, you were erasing whatever you had already written with your hand. And I was like, okay, that's really frustrating and I'm not going to manage hanging on to that for so long. So I went and got myself some wet erase ones that they have been working a treat. I have found them to be way better. And then I use the other ones if I know, okay, I can erase that after it's done, check, done, gone, then yeah. So I got those. I got myself a new hole puncher. I have been struggling with two really, really old ones and the things have been moving around and it was driving me crazy. I also print our curriculum. Our main curriculum is from Gather Around Homeschool, and I do a lot of printing and hole punching, and I was like, and I'm done. And so I spent a bunch of money on that, but I feel it was well worth it because that one I can hole punch, I think, like 20 sheets instead of the 5 that I'd been doing before. I got a new one of these little staplers. My child, won't name names, decided that the little stretchy thing, this little spring, this little spring thing needed to be stretched out of my old one, which rendered it completely useless. And I'm so sad because it was one of those old ones that had like a really long snout, so you could make like books and stuff, and so I was sad, but that's what I had to do. Now on to the books. This one I wanted to share just because it's excellent. Technically I didn't get it this haul, but I wanted to share it because I'm also sharing another autism book, and I wanted to really recommend this for my Sunrise viewers especially. That's our home-based therapy program, and this was the first child that it was ever done and it was developed for and whatever. This one, if you have been doing the Sunrise program for a little while and you feel like you've kind of reached that point where like inspiration has run dry, or you're like, I don't know what I'm doing or whatever, this one I felt was really good to read. You can see I'm in the midst of it, because it showed how they felt that way when they were doing their program with their son, and just trying desperately to figure it out. And so, it was just more permission. I find that the Sunrise program itself is very much do this and do that, and it's going to be awesome and great. And it doesn't really talk about the life happening in the midst of it, and how sometimes it's not as straightforward and you're like struggling to figure out what to do next. Get this book. All right. I got this one. I'm very excited. This one is Autistics on Autism. Stories that you need to hear about what helped them while growing up and pursuing their dreams. So for me, my son is not on the severe end of autism. He isn't conversational, but he's not nonverbal, and he doesn't have a lot of some of those typical things. He still has meltdowns sometimes, and he still struggles. But I wanted to hear from autistic people how they felt about some of the things that they struggle with and what helped them. I feel like there's always a benefit to us going to the source of the issue that we're having and going, what do you feel like? What do you think helped? What do you think didn't help? And so I got this book. I'm very excited to read this one. My friend Leilani wrote a book. She's from the channel Living with Eve, and she wrote this book focusing on the freedom of homeschool and some of the things that I've gone through, just trying to reset my mind from what I know. What I know of schooling is the public school system, because that's what I did, and how much my mind shifted or had to shift in order to learn how to homeschool properly and have the willingness to go, yeah, that is how you homeschool. It feels not right, but it is the right way to homeschool. And so that's what this book is about, freedom to learn. I wanted to support my girl, and so I'm going to get involved in that book. Very excited about that. I got 2 books for my struggling, I just bumped you there, my struggling reader. The one book series that she gets very excited about is this Wings of Fire. The pages are already starting to get dog-eared because she started reading this one, but every time she finds out when the next one is coming out, she's on it, and she's putting it on the calendar and the whole 9 yards. So I did get her this one, and then last year she wasn't interested in this one at all, but this year she was. So it's Wings of Fire, Forge Your Own Dragon World. And so she thought that this might be fun, and I was like, absolutely, you want to write your own story? You have at her. So from Abby from Rooted in Rest, I saw these next 2 books that I was just wanted to get. This is The Material World, a Global Family Portrait. Because we are a gather round family, you can redo units that you've done before. And so since this year we're finishing up our unit studies on the continents, we're going to circle back and do Africa again. And so these are going to be where I want to focus more on for that unit as we go through it a second time. So I'm very pumped and excited about that one. Another one that Abby shared was The Hungry Planet, and this is What the World Eats. The person who did the pictures for both of these is from the same photographer. And so again, if I want to focus on people, what do people around the planet eat? Or this is one of those books that I want to really focus that in on, and I'm very excited about that one. Sorry, I'm building a tower next to you. We are doing Renaissance next year in school in our history portion, and so this was another book that I picked up for that. This is a book I wanted to get because I keep hearing from Simply Charlotte Mason that G.A. Henty is a really good author with living books, living ideas. And so we're doing North America parks. Yes, from Gather Round Homeschool. And so I thought that this one might be a good read aloud or a signed reader for just experiencing outdoors and stuff. There's a few, I mean, it's definitely talking about other issues and other things, but I know that there's more US parks, and I wanted to kind of bring it back to Canada a little bit. And so with Wolf in Canada, we also have a family history of being loyalists back from when the War of Independence happened. We live in Canada because our past ancestors were loyal to the king. So that's another one. This book I got because of we're doing Africa again, so the Cats of Bombaste. This, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, forgive me, I do this all the time. I don't know how to pronounce things. But this was another Simply Charlotte Mason suggestion. Another one, The Golden Goblet, again for Africa. The Bronze Bow, again, I believe this was for Africa, I believe. I don't know, it's not telling me anything from the basis of this, but I do think this was a Simply Charlotte Mason thing. I really have wanted to really highlight the living books because it really makes a difference. This one is Pied Piper of Hamelin. I believe that this one was for the Renaissance or the medieval period. I just, wasn't sure I wanted to get that one. And then here's another G.A. Henty, In the Heart of the Rockies, An Adventure on the Colorado River. So those were the things that I kind of filled in the cracks of my book hauls that I've shown on my previous ones. I will leave a link to those ones. I got them from christianbook.com and bookoutlet.ca, and I'm so pumped and excited. I feel like when I do this and I have a big basis of books to pull from, then I feel ready to take on the next year, and I have time to kind of look through them and figure out what they're about. So I'm really pumped and excited with what January came up with as far as getting ready for the next homeschool year. I hope this has been helpful and that you enjoyed looking at these books with me. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.